Booking a flight shouldn't be a daunting task, but with so many options out there, it does sure feel like that. In this video, I'm gonna simplify the process for you. I'll share particular tips and strategies that will be able to help you book your next flight. From finding the best deals to ensuring a smooth travel experience. Get ready to transform the way you book your flight and make your next journey an unforgettable one. When booking a flight, I like to do the price first method. So I like to look at what is going to be the price first. When deciding to go on a vacation, the best thing to do is either check a flight, and that is going to be either through points and miles or cash. So points and miles, if you're not familiar with points and miles are going to be something that you accrue from your credit cards by either sign-up bonuses or spend categories, or there's numerous ways to accrue points through credit cards. And I can do a video dedicated to that if you would like. So just please write down in the comments if you would like me to do a video about points and miles. So either if you're gonna use points and miles for your flight, or if you're going to use cash. So if you're gonna use points for your flight, there's two kind of ways that you can do it. You can either just go through the credit card portal, which I highly recommend you don't do because that is gonna get your worst redemption rate on them. Or you can book it through transfer partners, and then once you transfer those partners, the best way to find your reward flights that I found is through a system that Amex recently just released. I have an Amex Gold card, so I was able to take advantage of this. But the system it's points.me/Amex, and that will be able to, you log through your Amex account, and you'll be able to see all the transfer partners, and then you can just go ahead and sort that by low to high to see which the lowest amount of miles or the highest amount of miles. And then you can see the fees associated with that as well. If you're gonna book with cash, I highly recommend you starting your search with Google Flights. And that's actually what I'm gonna do to kind of do this mock vacation flight that I'm going to book for you all, using the tried and true methods that I have found to book the best flights at the cheapest possible rate. So I like to start with Google Flights. Google Flights is a search engine that Google has that lets you to look at all of the airlines in one foul swoop. So you're able to look at all the airlines, and then you can see what are the lowest and what are the highest. And they have a really cool map feature with the Explorer, and that you could be able to see exactly which destinations will be the cheapest that you would like to go. So I like to start with the Explore function. I like to go ahead and just do initial search with my home airport and see what the flights are. I've got a general idea what kind of vacation that I want in my head, and then I kind of just let the price dictate where I want to go. So I usually just start my searches in Europe just because that's one of the places that I've traveled the most, and it's a great destination point for the rest of the world as well. So being able to just kind of get up to Europe can kind of also broaden your horizons when looking for other vacations. So if I want to do like South America, the beach, Central America, I can also just look down at the Google Maps as well to see kind of what the best price is to go. So of course you got to know about your visas and your visa requirements going into different locations. So you kind of want to make sure that you give enough wiggle room for dates and stuff before you actually fly out. But this is also a great way to search for last minute flights. So I'm going to start with Charlotte, and I'm going to look for Europe, and I found a good deal.
So here I'm searching for the flights, Google Flights. So I'm clicking on the first Google Flights. You'll notice that I click on the map. I zoom into the United States. You can see that I've got Charlotte already located. I flip it to one way because that's how I like to book my flights. Then I pick my specific date, and I picked August 8th, and then it reloads the map to see the flight prices for those dates, and I'm zooming around on the map just to check all the different locations. You can see there's a Lima for $489. Then you can see that there's a Madrid for $666, and then you can see there's going to be a Paris for $255, and that's going to go ahead and catch my eye, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. and I can see that I can book that through Spirit and French Bee. So I'm gonna go ahead and click that and just kind of get more flight details. Click through, and then you can see down here the 2 booking options. I would book through French Bee since that is the actual airline. So I'm gonna go ahead and click that, and it'll just load you right into the actual way to book the flight. You can see you just accept the cookies, and then it will give you the 2 options to upgrade your flight, the Spirit portion and the French Bee portion. So I'm just scrolling through options here to see what those 2 options are. Now I want to see if there's any other flights to check. So I'm back to the map, and it's still loading the same pricing as it was prior, doing some more searching around. Gonna zoom in, zoom out. Found Amsterdam for 302, and then you can see the different airlines there that you can book through. And this map features lets you know if it's going to be a high or a low price for that. You can say 302 is good for price for that. Back to the map, doing some more searching. Gonna zoom in a little bit to see exactly what the locations are going to be. I see that London for 223, that's a really good flight. Click that and kind of go through the same process that we just went through for that French Bee flight.
Utilize that deal, but it might be to a location that I've already been. So that's when it's good to go ahead and search that location either through Google Flights, or another website that I like to use app is Skyscanner. Skyscanner also makes it available to see. You could kind of put in your starting destination and hit anywhere, and then you can kind of see where the cheapest, and you can filter it by the cheapest destination that way, and you can kind of get a better bang for your buck than just searching for what you would normally search for from your home destination to your destination that you would want to go to. One thing that I do want to go ahead and warn about when booking a flight through Skyscanner or Google Flights is to go ahead and make sure that you are looking at the provider of the booking site. So just for instance, some could have some wonky names that you've kind of probably never heard of. A lot of low-cost carriers in Europe might use a secondary site to utilize that, but just go ahead and look at those ratings and just make sure that it is a good, solid provider for your travel. I would hate for you to book something thinking that it's a great deal when it's not. I personally have never had this experience, but I did just want to go ahead and warn you guys. But I'm also cognizant of making sure that I've recognized the brand or the travel company. Most of the times you'll see it, so say, for instance, like we'll say a Delta flight, a KLM flight, a Qatar flight. So it will tell you the airline, it will always tell you the airline that it will be under, but just when booking it, when you kind of go through and click it, and I'll kind of show you through what it kind of looks like to go ahead and book through one of these flights, but you'll be able to see that it will sometimes be the airline specific, or sometimes it will be a secondary travel site. Just be cognizant of that and make sure that you check the ratings, make sure that you understand, make sure that you've maybe viewed this before. I've used booking.com is one that I've utilized, that I've been able to book some flights through, especially particularly in Asia. A lot of their low-cost carriers, being able to book through booking.com was just a little bit easier for me. So I have utilized them for booking flights, but if I've never used a trip.com, for instance. I've heard good things about them and I've seen good ratings, but I personally don't. So just whatever kind of you're comfortable with in booking, because some of these flights will be kind of expensive, even though it might be a great deal, but just kind of want to put that out there. So you say you find your location, everything's great. I usually like to try to always start by searching one way and then kind of leaving it open-ended to kind of see where the price can dictate where my vacation can travel to. So that's a good tip that I like to use. So now that you have a great idea of how to go ahead and find the best flight for your vacation, you can kind of see how this is a great opportunity for that. Another thing that I like to do, say if I really want to find a great deal, but I don't really want to spend way too much money, is I also like to look for the international hubs that have the most traffic with international flights. So that is going to be your RD in Chicago, your LAXs, your Seattle SeaTacs, your Boston Logan International, your Newarks, your Orlando International is a good one for South America and Central America. Texas is also another good one. So being able to utilize all the different airports in your surrounding areas to try to get that flight down in price, because there was all these low-cost carriers out in the United States. So one great hack that I usually do is I usually will take a flight from Charlotte, where I currently live, to either Orlando or Chicago to get a better deal on my international flight, because there's the way the algorithms for airlines work. Some airlines don't offer connection, and being able to utilize that low budget fare, you're able to get to the destination to be able to fly out to broaden your horizons. So that's something that I always encourage people to do, is not just look at your home airport, but look at any airport that you can get to relatively cheaply, if that's either by train, bus, via driving. If it's just a couple extra hours in the car, you can really save some big money that way. And then of course you can utilize that for your accommodations or your things to do in the locations that you're traveling to. I do hear a lot all the time about my friends saying, you know, how do you travel so much? It's so expensive. I don't know how you are constantly forwarding these flights and going to all these crazy destinations. It seems like you're always on a plane and stuff. But what I like to show people is that it's easy to kind of find a great deal. For instance, I took my dad to Europe, and he was amazed that for $503 round trip, I was able to take him to Europe and show him that traveling is not that far out of reach. I mean, $500, you can't even get to the west coast of the United States from Orlando, where he lives. So it is possible to get out there and travel. It is with your budget. Norse Airline is a really good budget airline that travels to Europe, but I've not personally flown that. I'm actually going to take a trip recently. I did see that they had, you could get $299, I believe was the price that I saw, to Paris from JF, which is unheard of. Like, one way, of course, but then you could, once you get over to Europe, you can utilize the leverage of all the airports and their metro systems to get to another flight back to the United States. And that's how I like to look at my trips to book. I know that can be stressful for some of you out there. So if just booking something all-inclusive round trip is easier for you, then that is one way to do it. But I do recommend you not just searching your home airport for that. I do recommend you actually broadening your horizons for your airports, because that is a way I've been able to save a boatload of money, was being able just to switch an airport, maybe get up earlier, take an earlier flight, drive a couple hours. But if it's saving you thousands of dollars, you're able to really use that money when you're on your trip to broaden the experiences that you're going to be able to experience. And you're going to feel actually a little bit of pride when you're like, oh, I saved so much money just by doing it this way. So I really want people to take away that aspect from the video, is to make sure that you're always looking and broadening your horizons. And maybe you want to go to Greece, but Croatia is much cheaper of a flight that you can find, and you're gonna have this kind of the same experience there. So you've always got to keep that in mind. And then another great tip that I have for when you're booking your flights is to look at what it's called a second city of those destinations, so that you're not just going to the major heavy hitters of the locations. So a good example for this is in Japan. Tokyo would be your major city that most people travel into, but Kyoto could also be another second city for Tokyo. So you've got to look into those. And then also another great tip is, especially if there's multiple airports in the locations, and this is kind of why I like Google Flights and Skyscanner, is because it kind of encompasses all the airports in a destination, so that way you're not in, so you're just not kind of getting pigeonholed into that one airport. And that's another good possibility. That's why I like to book one-way trips is because of that. Two is it broadens my horizons for when I want to go ahead and exit a country. I'm able to be a little bit more flexible, so be able to find that great deal. That's one thing that I kind of is my passion, is being able to find incredible deals and being able to show everybody that travel is within your reach. It is doable. It's probably 1 or 2 months worth of somebody's latte bill. You can get to an incredible destination that you never thought you would ever be able to do. You just might have to do a little bit of work, and I'm going to help you be more confident in being able to find those deals and being able to even show your family things that they've never thought they've been able to experience. And also locally as well. I mean, I also will be able to help with finding great deals within the United States as well. So Google Flights and Skyscanner both help with that. You can, if you just don't, if going out to a different country is something that kind of scares you, then you can utilize these two websites to be able to make sure that you can find something within the continental United States, and it also being able to utilize the search engines to do the work for you. And most of them do have this great map feature, so you can kind of see the high lows days, if it's typically a normal price, a low price for the season. So all those kind of things encompassed within these two websites to be able to make sure that you are not overpaying for a destination. Great travel site that there is a free version of it, but to kind of get the full experience version of it is going to be, some of you may know Kara and Nate from their channel here on YouTube. They have a great thing called Fair Drop that you can sign up for, and then they are able to give you great, fantastic deals that are kind of unheard of, that are like those low, ultra low fares. And they've done a really good job, especially over the past few years, of enhancing that and being able to have more features on that. But it is a subscription-based service, so you have to pay usually annually for that. So I just didn't really want to make that one of the main sources of this video, because it's another cost additive to it, and I just want to make sure that people do realize that you can do this without having another algorithm kind of do the work for you. But that is another option that's out there that is a really good service, fairdrop.com. Not sponsored, of course, but like I said, it'd be really cool if it was. So yeah, this is kind of the way that I utilize my trips, and how kind of I've booked them, and I've been able to help friends and family with that journey. And that's another reasons why I've decided to start this channel, was because everybody usually has been coming to me for travel advice to kind of look and help them plan destinations. Not one because I'm probably the world traveler of my friend group and family group, but also because I've been able to do it, and I've been able to get some amazing deals, and I've been able to pass those amazing deals on to my friends and family. So that's one thing that I hope to also be able to share with you all, is that those great, fantastic deals. I know YouTube is a little bit harder because of the video editing process and then the uploading and the uploading schedule. I am going to try to kind of adjust my uploading schedule, so that way there is a little bit more content coming out there, because like I did say in the beginning of the video, I am trying to make this my full-time career, because of this being able to broaden people's horizons and being able to show them the world, and show them that it's not that expensive to get out there and do what you love, see what you love, and be the person that you ultimately love. So I hope you find this video useful. If you would please like, subscribe, and follow for more, it would really mean a lot to me. I know this is a small YouTube channel, and I'm really trying to grow, and it would mean the world to me if you could please just like, subscribe, maybe even send it to your friend. I really appreciate that, and I hope that you follow me and follow this journey, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks. Goodbye.